Hey everyone! So I originally discovered this gem of a video because those annoying vegans made a response video and their answers were great, but they kind of differed from my own, so I decided to give it a go. Let's see if we can get through all these questions without lying.
Now listen, if you're a vegan and you're watching this and you want to answer these questions, keep in mind that you're free to lie your ass off and just say whatever you want to say that sounds amazing to answer these questions in the comment section. You have all of that ability. You can lie. But can you continue lying to yourself? Okay? That's the bigger question. You can say stupid answers to these that nobody's gonna fucking believe, but at the end of the day, answer these questions for yourself, to yourself, and see how the answers make you feel. In my opinion, this is a series of questions which could cause a person to self-reflect in a way that makes them understand that there might be no way in hell that veganism is correct or good. The first question comes from Vegan Deterioration, who asks vegans, how often do you dream about eating non-vegan food? I follow that up with a second question, which would be, if so, how often? Now, I've interviewed a ton of ex-vegans and even some current vegans, and I have to tell you that there is a trend, and the trend is that they do very frequently have ranch dressing dreams, chicken dreams, steak or cheese dreams, cream cheese on a bagel dream. This happens, okay? So the number one question to vegans is, do you dream about non-vegan foods? And my secondary question to that is, if so, how often?
Okay, that was insanely redundant, but I can answer without lying. As a vegan for about 7 years now, I've had a handful of dreams where I've eaten animal products, but I'm always confused. And I'm eating whatever it is, like mac and cheese or something, and halfway through I realize that it's not vegan, and I'm just super disgusted, but I keep eating it for some reason. I don't even know. But the thing about dreams is that while plenty of people ascribe meaning to their dreams, they don't actually have much psychological significance. And they're usually completely nonsensical. We've all had crazy-ass dreams, but what relevance does this have? You could be perfectly satisfied in your relationship and have a dream where you cheat on your partner. Our brains produce weird scenarios when we sleep. How does she think this is a knockdown argument?
Number 3. How often do you eat or use fake meat, fake milk, fake butter, fake eggs, or fake cheeses? Now, like I said, you can be a total asshole and just say, I don't dream about any non-vegan foods, I'm perfect, send my ass to vegan fucking heaven. Or you could just say the truth. You could also lie and say, I don't eat fake meat, and I don't eat fake milk, and I don't eat fake butter, I only eat kale and vegetables, because that's how you do veganism appropriately.
Well, I have an entire video about this. First of all, the idea that these foods are fake is arguable. Words like meat, milk, and butter don't exclusively apply to animal flesh and secretions. We all accept that coconut meat, coconut milk, and peanut butter are real foods, okay? But I won't evade the question that she's getting at. I do eat processed vegan alternatives on a regular basis, pretty much a daily basis. I love Earth Balance, Vegenaise, flax milk is a staple, chow cheese. Lately I've been making salads with the Kroger brand Simple Truth chicken nuggets, and Follow Your Heart Caesar or honey mustard dressing. Romaine, kale, chickpeas, 10 out of 10. So I'd say the bulk of my diet is whole plant foods, but you gotta spice it up, you know what I mean?
4. This is a really, really good question. Have you ever thought that something tasted too good to be vegan? and maybe you later found out it wasn't totally vegan, or somebody didn't read the label appropriately and you trusted them and it wasn't actually vegan, and you could tell because it tasted too good. Well, that's also asking you the question of, do you like the taste of animal products? Duh, of course you do. But no, go ahead and leave a comment and say, you don't like the taste of animal products. You don't eat any fake animal products, and you sure as hell don't dream about eating anything but a salad. You can go ahead and lie like that, like I said, but what's the truth at the end of the day? You're the one who has to go to sleep with that truth, okay?
It's funny how she frames this question, like, have you ever accidentally eaten something that was not vegan, but you realized it wasn't vegan because it was too good? I think the right word here would be it's too familiar. I've had this experience with the vegan ravioli at Whole Foods, and I'm eating it and I'm just like, nope, this is not vegan. And I knew this because I'd had the vegan ravioli from Whole Foods before, and it tasted like way too familiar, like this is definitely real cheese. I was pretty sketched out, and it didn't make me miss cheese. I've also had the experience where I've eaten something that I knew for a fact was vegan, but it tasted so spot on that I was just incredulous. That's just a testament to how far we've come with the vegan movement and food science. I didn't go vegan because I didn't like the taste of animal products. And fortunately, in 2020, you can eat foods that taste almost identical to the real thing, so you don't even have to make some grand sacrifice.
Number 5, do you feel personally offended when you encounter an ex-vegan? This might be like a small red flag for some people, but ultimately, like, this is a serious issue. If you encounter an ex-vegan and it causes you instant anxiety, you might want to evaluate why.
Do I feel personally offended by ex-vegans? Like, what does that even mean? I may feel sad or disappointed, or depending on the person and the context, enraged. But am I personally offended? I mean, I guess a little if I was the one who inspired them to go vegan in the first place. Does the presence of ex-vegans give me anxiety? I mean, maybe a little, but how is this an argument against veganism? I would probably feel uneasy in the presence of a white supremacist. Does that make my anti-racist stance wrong?
Number 6, how do you feel when you see children or hear adults say that they don't like vegetables, that they don't eat vegetables, or that they don't like fruits and vegetables? How do you feel when you see a compilation of a video of 50 children in a row going ugh to broccoli or spinach or cabbage? How does that make you feel? Do you feel personally attacked? Do you feel personally offended when that happens? Because that's something that you might want to investigate.
This is probably my favorite question of them all. Again, do I feel personally offended? What does that mean? But if I were to answer the question, how do I feel? I'd have to say, yeah, I judge the hell out of people who don't eat fruits and vegetables. It's fine if you don't like certain fruits and vegetables, but if you're a grown-ass adult and you don't eat any fruits or vegetables, like, do you sleep with a blankie? What's wrong with you? Do you poop? I have a lot of questions. As for little kids, they are a little bit more sensitive to taste and textures as their palates develop, so it's perfectly normal if a kid doesn't like broccoli. But if a kid won't touch a vegetable, I 100% blame the parents. Taste is acquired, and you can acquire a taste for certain foods even as an adult. It doesn't matter how big of a meat eater you are, you can adapt to a plant-based diet and learn to love vegetables. I guess she's trying to imply that eating a plant-based diet is unnatural, which is ironic because when I was a kid, I loved fruits and vegetables, but I was always grossed out by like the veins in my chicken, and I would demand that my mom remove the white squiggly thing attached to the yolk when she would make eggs. Like, even when she would make banana bread or something, I'd be like, did you take the white squiggly thing out? I'm sure she lied to appease me.
And my 7th and final question is, do you feel, or have you had an increasing amount of the feelings of, say, misanthropy or psychopathy? So do you hate other people? Do you hate the world? Do you wish bad things on people? So are you so jaded by veganism that you want to be completely isolated because you hate people? And is that hatred creeping into being a psychopath and wishing them to die and wishing people to be raped and murdered because they use animal products? Is your veganism causing you to hate humanity and lose your faith in humanity as a whole? So that's a really good question. And the answer in almost all these situations is yes. The vegan agenda comes with the agenda of the world is overpopulated, people are fucking terrible, get a vasectomy, have an abortion, stop breeding. So if this is your mentality, then the answer to this question is probably pretty often. How often do you feel these things? Do you feel misanthropic? If you have isolated yourself from the whole world because you think the world's not vegan and I'm going to turn my back on it, you might want to investigate your life and if that is a problem for you.
Whoa, okay, slow down, girl. Yes, a lot of vegans go through a misanthropic phase because their eyes are now open to all the cruelty humans inflict on other animals, and it conjures up a lot of negative emotions. Anger is a natural emotion to violence and injustice. Hatred of all humanity is, of course, misplaced anger, but these feelings are not uncommon outside of veganism. Many non-vegan environmentalists feel misanthropic at times too. But of course, these feelings should be tamed because they're not helpful. Eco-fascism is not the direction that we want to go in. So yeah, I'm totally with you there, but so are most vegans. We're not a bunch of insane fascist psychopaths. Extreme views always stand out because we humans love controversy. Hence why I found this video. As for all the other things she's lumping in with the vegan agenda, like the world is overpopulated and we should all stop having kids, she's just empirically wrong. Sure, some vegans are antinatalists, but antinatalism is a more fringe philosophy than veganism, and plenty of antinatalists are not vegan. So it's fair to say that most vegans are not antinatalists. There is some crossover with these two philosophies, but antinatalism implies veganism way more than veganism implies antinatalism. If you accept the philosophy of antinatalism, that suffering is worse than pleasure is good, therefore it's wrong to bring suffering into the world, then in order to be consistent, you have to recognize that breeding animals into existence and inflicting suffering on them is wrong. However, if you accept the philosophy of veganism, that animals are here with us, not for us, this doesn't compel you to believe that life is not worth beginning and we should put an end to the human race. Some vegans may believe that the world is overpopulated, but the only reason we're having this conversation is because there's a limited amount of resources on the planet. And you know what requires a shit ton of resources? Animal agriculture. The issue isn't overpopulation, it's overconsumption. And if you're eating animal products, you're not helping. Thank you so much for watching. This video was actually done in tandem with another video that I made for the Flem face as part of her anti-vegan nonsense series. I respond to another video by Daphne titled "Bacon is good, water is bad, earth is flat, and everything you know is a lie." That was a fun one. And be sure to subscribe to the Flem face if you aren't already. She's a real homie. Alright, peace out.
Yo, how when me eat them, I wonder when me eat. When me tell them say me nah eat no fish, nah no meat now. How when me eat them, I wonder when me yam. When me tell them say that I'm a vegan man. How when me eat them, I wonder when me eat. When me tell them say me nah eat no fish, nah no meat now.